The priority of the first person case we get out of Descartes. I think I've suggested it's in part a result of his beginning, as he does, with epistemology and the question of method. What I've written here, priority of the first person case, consists of my believing I have privileged access to my own cognitive states. So when the question comes up, what do I know? The first thing is my own existence. The second thing is the contents of my head. I have immediate and infallible knowledge of these things, but it's private and subjective. Right? So I'm looking for certainty. I find certainty, but I find it here, locked up inside of my own subjectivity. That's good. Certainty is good. Locked up in subjectivity is bad. So the entire Cartesian project carried forward by Descartes' followers after his death is to create a systematic philosophy which will get back to the third person case, back to the public world. Then we'll get back to the third person case. That's the challenge. Okay? If Cartesianism succeeds, it will have to succeed in reconnecting with a public world in which we can have shared knowledge claims. Now, Descartes in his meditations, in meditation 6, thinks he pulls this off. He thinks he actually gets all the way back to the public world on a secure foundation. But getting back to the public world is the challenge for beginning with this privileged access. The other thing that this entails is that all other knowledge, everything I know of reality outside of my head, has to somehow pass through the medium of the knowledge inside my head. Okay, so the first person case not only has this property of being immediate, infallible, and certain, which presumes a Cartesian theory of mind. It presumes that I am a certain sort of knower, a knower primarily of myself first, and then only secondarily of other things. Aristotle, Aquinas, and others reverse that priority. I'm first and foremost a knower of things, and only after reflecting upon my knowledge of things do I come to have a grasp of myself. Self-knowledge comes later. For Descartes, self-knowledge is very close to the origin of philosophy. Right? It's like the planet Mercury orbiting the sun. It's close enough to be hot. So all other knowledge has to be based somehow on the foundation of this first-person case. The problem here is I need to come up with a theory of objective knowledge that's ultimately grounded in a subjective foundation. And we'll see Gilson later will argue that project cannot possibly succeed. You can't conclude objectivity by beginning in subjectivity. Descartes' entire project depends upon giving the opposite answer to that question, saying I can in fact begin inside my head and end up out in the world with shared knowledge with the rest of you.